Getting our new lift in. Be going right here at the front of the shop once you get it all cleaned out. So you got some lift installation going on. Got our scaffolding built, and as you can see, he's getting some of the original tin paneling cut out now, since we got to cut that section across there to be able to fit this guy and that guy across there. So big thanks to my father-in-law for having cool stuff like this scaffolding that we can put up and use and get the ceiling cut out a lot easier. So once we get this section cut out, we'll kind of film some more and show you guys what it's like without that ceiling in there and how we're gonna run the top of this thing. All right, got the ceiling cut out and we're getting the lift in place so we can go ahead and mock it all up, get it assembled. So there we go, we got some of the tin tiles removed and got our center section cut out. So we should be able to slip those guys up top and run our bar across and hopefully make this thing fit. So hopefully in the next clip you'll see this thing assembled. All right guys, got the lift all installed and got some of these boards painted. Just did it like a hammer tone silver to match the ceiling. So they'll cover up those slats that you see there and kind of encase those so you don't see and it doesn't look nasty. But got this thing all bolted down. So it is in for good. And the friends of ours we bought this off of, the hydraulic line that runs up here, comes out here and then runs across the top and goes over. They still have it at their place, so we got to run out and get that tomorrow. And then we'll put that on. After we run that, then we'll be ready to wire it in and hopefully make this thing work. Oh, and we got to fix the hydraulic tank, the reservoir. Kind of got some messed up edges right there where the little bolts go through, so we can fix that. It's pretty much ready to go. Got the scaffolding up still, like I said, so we can hang those things in the morning. Here we go, we got some more hydraulic fluid. So we got her lifted up all the way. Don't worry, there'll be a lot cooler things on this lift in the near future.
Hey, that's my truck you're talking about.
But, as you can see, you can stand straight up underneath it. Us short guys can anyway. So, pretty cool.
Jason's immaculate on the body.
Yep. Pretty solid truck though, for real.
Yeah, we
Yep,
might not
there
be
it
the
is.
coolest thing, but it's about the most solid thing in this truck right now.
Yeah. All right, officially got everything cleaned up over here. Got it wired up. Got hydraulic fluid in it, and got the Opel GT over here. So it's on the lift, and hopefully in the next video you see will be footage of this Opel, of us firing it up for the first time, then after it got blasted, and then as you see it here in self-etch, and should have some other footage of it with the new one that we got out of a shed from the owner, so we're using a different body. So, all right, now that we got the lift installed and the van is almost done, getting some last bit of wiring finished up on the van, we are back over on the 34 Plymouth truck. So here's the chassis that's all finished. Still got to go through and tidy up the engine a little bit. Got it all cleaned up, and Graydon's dusting the cab off for us here. Cab is literally ready for wet sanding and then paint. So we're actually going to be mocking this truck up one more time in primer. So this whole thing will be assembled like it's done. And then that way, if there's anything we need to do modification wise, it's just in primer, so it's a lot easier to fix. And then after that's done, we'll pull the whole truck back apart and be ready for the paint process. And I think we are going with a single stage on this truck, which is pretty cool to kind of stick with the time period and keep it correct and original. So probably hit you with another time lapse of getting this cab set on the chassis. Only got 3 of us, so we'll see how it goes. All right, got the cab on. So now I'm going to go through and actually line the cab up. Actually line the cab mounts up with the chassis, but it's in place good enough now that I can start doing some mock-up. This firewall, this cab I believe was like a 1-ton cab, so it was on a big chassis, and which has now been converted to fit on the small truck chassis, which is basically the same as the cars. This firewall here, as you can tell, fits really well. We actually had to cut about, I can't even remember, somewhere around 6 to 8 inches out of it to make it fit. And then actually in here, floorboard mounts in these locations here and then lays down, and the wood mates up here and then covers up all this stuff so you don't see it. And this video I think will kind of be mixed in with a little bit of the lift installation. And then I'll probably have another truck one out later on of going over what all we've done to this thing and some previous body work, metal work, and things like that. All right, guys, got most of the parts out for the truck to get it all mocked back up. A couple things we're leaving off right just for now to get it bolted up, which will be the hood and the doors. Those will be last. So as you can tell, I mean, pretty much you can tell what it's going to look like. No, but we got to pull the bed back off of it. I realize now that we got the bed on, it's just laying on it. Nothing's bolted up, obviously. The fuel tank, it's an aftermarket tank, and he's got an original neck, filler neck. And we don't know exactly what position we need it coming out. We have it marked and we know a good idea, but we're going to take the bed back off, install the fuel tank, and then lay the bed back on it so we'll know exactly where that neck is coming out so we can get it dialed in and have it looking like the factory. So hopefully film another update after we get that in there. All right, guys, got the gas tank back in it, the bed on it, cab and the splash aprons, and I'll show you here. These splash aprons actually attach underneath the front cab mounts here. So you can see the cab mount bolt right there. So we got those mocked in place. Got the bed set on here. And these spacers are just temporary because this chassis was never meant to be for a truck. So we got these spaced out where we want to get the bed at the right angle. So we'll basically end up probably getting some like aluminum, and I'll probably go over to the mill and actually hand make my own spacer to space the back of the bed out so it doesn't look like crap with all those rubbers on there. Here's the exhaust, just some stainless sections for the back. You can see where it stops right under there, and we'll pick up from there, run that stuff out the back. And then we got this front floor section that goes up on this angled part here. And kind of got the running boards ready to go and the grill shell. So next step tomorrow, which will be Friday, which is probably going to be this uploaded video, should have these back fenders mounted and hopefully have the running boards attached and be moving on to getting the front ready. So hopefully that's the next clip you see. All right, guys, got more of the truck mocked up. Got myself set up for next week. So what we'll do next week, come in and get the front fixed in place, get the fenders bolted up, and then start working my way back. All this stuff's just kind of sat in place right now. Just because we kind of wanted to see what the truck looked like all put together. But yeah, we'll basically build it from the front to the back, get everything squared away, and then keep moving on from there. So hopefully here in the next couple weeks, we'll be ready for paint. So hopefully next week we'll have another update with this thing. That or it might be an update on the Opal. So as for now, that's it.